The year is 2021. Square Enix releases their newest game, Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, great. Not another Marvel superhero game. The Guardians look nothing like they do in the movies. The game is only single player. Why isn't it a co-op game? There's 5 characters at any given time. This sucks, dude. Man, I bet this is just gonna be another live service. Garbage, generic, uninspired. Holy shit! Wow, what is going on? Oh my god. Yeah! Oh, come on, let's go! This is so fun! Pull out the big guns rocket, let's mess them up! There's fucking dragons? Try spinning, that's a good wait, wrong franchise. Bro, mess with Guardians of the Galaxy. What the fuck is happening? Ooh. Wow. That was a good game. Holy shit, we're not done! Oh my god! After the horrendous release of Square Enix's Avengers, I was very skeptical of whether Guardians of the Galaxy would actually be good. However, I am happy to report Guardians of the Galaxy is, in my opinion, one of the best story-driven games I've ever played. To me, Guardians of the Galaxy is an amazing playthrough, start to finish. From the fun gameplay, to the variety in environments, to the characters' witty and hilarious dialogue. All the way through, I was interested in what the Guardians had to say, the story was relatable, and the entertainment just kept on giving. It sucks that not enough people appreciate this game, let alone know it exists, since it came out right after the stinker that was the Avengers. I was one of the idiots that was unbelievably hyped for the game, and I pre-ordered it straight away.
Shut up and take my money!
That was a mistake. I even defended the game for a while.
And we go to the source.
We will take care of this evildoer. Stand back!
Lunaby! Are those paper plates? This is just annoying. How does he have so much health? Come on!
Oh, how wrong I was. So after that disaster, I was anxious for another Marvel game to scratch that superhero game itch. And out comes Guardians of the Galaxy. At one point, it was on sale, and I thought, I'll give it a try. And I was blown away at what a difference a live service is compared to a passionate, story-based game that is Guardians of the Galaxy. The game was also recognized and won several awards like Best Narrative and Best Score and Music, which we'll talk about the score when we get there. In this video, I'm going to go over the ways Guardians takes risks, sets deep and emotional tones, and what my personal experience was with the game. Among other things, I have a lot to say, so let's get started. Also, spoilers ahead if you care. The game begins with Peter Jason Quill as a young lad in the 1980s, in his mom's basement, like any future hero, playing his favorite band, Star-Lord. His mother walks in to remind him it's his birthday! She tells him about his father and gives us a hint of what the theme of the game is about. Some really cool foreshadowing that I didn't actually notice until I started making this video.
Oh, we'd look up at the stars and he'd tell me all about the places he'd been.
Mom?
How about some cake, huh?
Yeah, I'll be up in a sec.
You said that 15 minutes ago.
So anyway, his mom walks out of the room and you're free to explore as you please. There's lots of interesting details hidden in this room and Peter has an opportunity to speak to himself about it. Mostly just a bunch of random stuff he has around his room, but it's pretty cool. Turns out, this is a dream, and present-day Star-Lord is on the Milano with his newly found crew. Drax wakes him up, informs that they have reached their destination, insults Gamora and Rocket, and then dips. And it's at this point where I need to talk about the characters. First, the elephant in the room. Yes, these are different looking Guardians. This being the Guardians of the Galaxy, you expect it to look like this. And yeah, they don't look like they do in the movies, but their characters are heavily inspired by the movies and the comics. A perfect mixture of both. And you'll notice right away that they talk a lot. However, to me, it's not a problem. I was never bothered by how much the Guardians made fun of each other, or how many times Drax talks about Lady Hellbender, and oftentimes I couldn't help but chuckle, and even laugh out loud at times at their hilarious jokes.
How's that even gonna work? The thumper goes beep 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 and the monsters come running?
It goes more like, wah! Wah! Wah!
Stop this ruckus at once!
Some people may find these annoying, but I have a great time with it, and I laugh all the time. I have a very stupid sense of humor. Every time one started a conversation, I would slow down just to hear them speak their mind. Oftentimes, you get to intervene in their conversations and can choose a side, crack a joke, build the team's morale, or simply just say nothing and let them talk amongst each other.
All because of one lousy source.
Guys, every misstep was just a step in the right direction towards completing our best plan yet.
Sometimes these dialogue choices can even have a significant impact on the story. But back to the team, over time they grew on me. After playing several times, I actually see these Guardians as my definitive version. I think in my head of what the Guardians sound like in the movies, and all I can hear is this version's Peter. All I can hear is this version's Drax and Gamora. Rocket sounds the same, and of course Groot just, is Groot. Each of the Guardians had depth in their character and grew as the game went on. Over time, they respected each other and even cared for one another. There's Peter Quill, the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the son of Spartax, and apparently a not well-known bounty hunter at this point, and often made fun of. Much like me, he procrastinates his plans up until last minute, and somehow makes it through. And unlike me, he has a way with women. His leadership skills are surprisingly admirable. Rocket Raccoon. Rocket the Super Genius. The deadly weapons expert, he often claims Milano as his ship, lacks respect for the entire team except for Groot, and he likes to blow things up and ask questions later. And if anything happens to Groot, he will skin you alive. Gamora, the deadliest woman in the galaxy, and daughter of Thanos. She is a hardcore assassin with a surprisingly girly hobby. She at least has respect for the team, but can sometimes go a bit too far. She has a good heart, but has a bad way of showing it. And I know what you're thinking. No, Gamora and Peter are not a couple, nor will they ever be a couple in this game. They took a different approach, which I actually like. Groot, the real softy of the team. He just goes with the flow and just says I and am and Groot. That's pretty much it. Finally, Drax the Destroyer. I saved him for last because he's arguably the second main character in this game. He's the most loyal team member for Peter, although he has a grudge against Rocket and Groot, and at first despises even the sight of Gamora since she is the daughter of Thanos. Serving as the muscle of the team and sometimes the negotiator. Much like the movies, he takes things way too literal.
Physically impossible.
Drax is a huge reason why I love this game so much, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Put them all together, and you get a band of misfits that don't really like each other except for when their life depends on it. Which is all that counts, right? The team is tasked with hunting down a monster in the quarantine zone, a wasteland scattered with the remains of the Galactic War 12 years prior. Derelict freighters and corpses are scattered absolutely everywhere and covered in this pink, gooey, and actually pretty looking goo. Team Rocket places multiple monster signal thingies, you fight off some spongy looking creatures, a fun minigame to destroy as many bug nests as you can, and whoa! Is that an Infinity Stone? Indeed it is, but it's not what you think. Thanos isn't coming for these stones. He's actually dead.
Allegedly.
Instead, this mysterious purple creature crawls out of the stone and flies away. Honestly, my first thought was there's going to be several games that Square Enix makes or other game companies make that have Infinity Stones in them just like the movies. That'd be so cool if we can get a game series like that. Please make it happen. So anyway, Peter and Rocket decide not to talk about it. The mission continues and they eventually do find their monster. Or so they think.
What the flark is that?
Definitely not a monster.
Then they really find their monster. Or so they think.
What in hell's name is that?
Definitely not cleaner bots.
So the team books it out of the quarantine zone to avoid that creature. Hooray, we made it! We're safe now! Ah, shit!
Please don't be Nova Corps.
It is Nova Corps.
So the space cops, or the Nova Corps, arrest them. And thanks to Groot, they are now being titled the Gardeners of the Galaxy. Thanks, Groot.
What? No. Rocket.
So I let Groot fill out the paperwork. I fixed it.
Some random kid shows up, a crazy old man who definitely isn't evil, and holy shit! Peter and Nikki make their way out of the situation and run into her mom, Corel. Uh-oh. A loving mother-daughter moment happens, and Nikki is sent into a room. Also, apparently her and Peter were a thing during the war. Peter speculates that Nikki may be their kid. She doesn't seem to have any feelings anymore, and charges him thousands of units depending on what you hide. And now the team is tasked with paying off the fine. So the team is broke and are brainstorming ways to make enough money to pay off the fine before the tracker in their ship disables their systems. Drax suggests that they go after the legendary Fing Fang Foom and is immediately shut down. However, the team decides to sell either Groot or Rocket to Lady Hellbender for a considerable amount, and you get to choose who to sell. The plan is to break them out later, which is probably a terrible idea. Off to Seknarf 9, Lady Hellbender's kingdom, essentially. The most dangerous monster hunter in the galaxy, feared and respected by all, especially Drax. And it's at this point that I need to talk about the level design. It's actually really good. I love it. No two places look the same unless they're intentionally meant to. Not to mention the amazing looking environments to explore. There's jungles, there's spaceships, there's caves, there's cities. Every level looks beautiful, and I often stand and look at the area around me to take it all in. Some small areas you can completely miss on your first playthrough and miss some dialogue as well. Sometimes the characters even make fun of your natural curiosity to explore.
Distracted up to now. If he calls us over, I'm done. Whoa, 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 guys! There's this totally sweet pile of crap on the ground. So interesting. Let's all stick our fingers in it.
I can hear you downwind.
I can hear you downwind. Come on, guys. We're a team. Let's all work together. Blah, blah, blah.
It certainly encouraged me to play the game a second and third time to collect all the suits and other collectibles. Speaking of which, the collectibles and holo notes? I'm gonna call them holo notes. They can give more context and smaller stories when reading them. Each collectible you find can be found back on the Milano and will have one of the Guardians talk to you and share a story of their own to get to know them. The Milano also serves as your base of operations, or your hub, in between some missions. It's where you get to hear the Guardians talk about their recent objective, an upcoming objective, or some random nonsense that is often entertaining. The Milano is also jam-packed with detail. Plenty of interesting things to see, a fridge door to close, sticky notes, you can play music that I'm not going to play because I'm going to get copyright strike, a fridge door to close, the Guardians preparing for battle, a fridge door to close. God damn it, can someone get some tape over the fridge door? Peter makes a rough landing with the Milano several clicks away from Lady Hellbender's fortress and is forced to walk the rest of the way. During the whole trip, Drax is constantly hyping up Lady Hellbender, telling stories of her righteousness.
Lady Hellbender scoffs upon duplicity and dishonor.
That was way too close.
Well played, Lady Hellbender.
Star-Lord also gains some new powers from his blasters, and they find a cage to store whoever you decided to sell. For my playthrough, I decided to sell Groot. It's a long, flarkin' way to her fortress, so Peter has a chance to doze off and remember his childhood before he was taken. They eventually do arrive and meet the mistress herself, Lady Hellbender. She immediately grows fond of Drax and begins to flirt with him. They negotiate a price, and Groot is sold. Now the plan is to get him back while laying low.
If we do things right and be quiet, we'll be in and out with no one the wiser. Drax, what part of quiet don't you understand?
Dead is quiet, Peter Quill.
No killing.
And of course, it doesn't work out. Finally, the first boss fight in the game, which is now a good time to talk about the gameplay. I enjoy this game's gameplay a ton. It is so fun. But before I get into that, I'll talk about the first thing that's asked of you before you even start the game, the difficulty. In most games, the modes range from easy, normal, hard, and fuck you. However, in Guardians, there is an option to completely alter the entire experience by changing the amount of damage you and the enemies do, ability cooldowns, and way more. The amount of changes are vast and can completely change how you play. Not to mention, the amount of accessibility options are a nice touch. Already, you can see that the developers put a lot of care into something as simple as the difficulty. The lack of co-op is disappointing, sure, but the focus on Star-Lord being the only playable character and the team leader gives the player a leadership role in combat. Your blasters aren't enough to take down baddies, you have the other Guardians to back you up. Each character specializes in different fighting styles. Root is crowd control and uses his vines to pin enemies in place. Drax deals big stun damage and sets them up for larger attacks. Gamora deals serious damage to the more tankier enemies, and Rocket just blows stuff up, which is pretty cool. After every encounter, you gain XP and level up and get to choose which member of your team to upgrade, including yourself. Every ability serves a purpose and can be combined for some serious combos. Each member of the team has their own role to play, not just in combat, but in exploration. Many areas in the game require a certain team member to progress. Groot can build a bridge to cross large gaps, Rocket hacks terminals, and Gamora and Drax usually just break stuff. Sometimes they'll even do it themselves if you take too long.
Drax, wanna clear a path?
Only if you admit that every one of my Lady Hellbender stories is true.
So that's a no. Rocket, care to bet on what's on the other side of these vines?
Maybe. How much?
You guys are unbelievable.
And other times, they're not even present and the others have a comment on it.
Hey look, a shortcut we can't use because somebody lost Groot.
So useful for you to point it out. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Star-Lord himself, of course, has his own puzzle to complete. Nothing complicated, but the team makes things interesting with their methods of how to progress.
Relax. Just gonna reroute the little bit of remaining power to the cannon and... nothing. You know what? Flark it! I'm blowing it up!
What? Hang on! Think about all the booby traps
Look at it go! You must have jump-started the thing.
To me, the gameplay is fun. It's similar to Spider-Man games on PS4 and 5. It's fun enough for me to be satisfied, and if you don't like how easy it is, just crank up the difficulty. During combat, a meter builds, and when it's full, you can initiate a huddle, which calls the Guardians to a pep talk, and depending on the situation at the time of the huddle, they will either be anxious to get back in the fight or be scared that they're getting their asses kicked, which you can choose one of two responses based on what the team is thinking. If you choose correctly, then the whole team gets a damage boost and significantly decreased cooldowns. If you choose wrong, the team makes fun of you for being a horrible leader and only yourself is boosted. Either way, Star-Lord turns on his Walkman to a random song and... God damn it! I've seen a lot of people complain about this huddle feature, that it pauses the gameplay and it just halts any sort of suspension and excitement in the combat. But you know what other game does the exact same thing that everybody loves?
Hey! Not as big as they say, you, not nearly. Spit to the men and all I got's a gold belt. You speak my language, do you? Speak blood, do you? Speak guts? Because I don't reckon you'll be waiting when I rip your throat out so fast it'll whistle.
So no, it's not annoying. I actually enjoy it. The giant tentacle monster is defeated and Lady Hellbender is pissed. The team makes their quick escape to the Milano. They have their money intact, and Groot and Rocket, but now the second most dangerous woman in the galaxy is hunting them down. Fantastic. Now that they have the money that they definitely earned, they can pay off their fine to Corel. Peter attempts to contact NovaCorps and Nikki answers. What? She seems a little out of whack and oh fuck, what happened now? Regardless, they head to the Rock, the NovaCorps outpost. No one seems to be home. Not a single person is at their station. They're pretty weird, but whatever, we're just here to pay our fine. We don't really care. Eventually, they do find some crew, and they seem to be out of whack as well. So we deal with them like any normal person would. Some strange cult is forming inside the station, so it's best they leave as soon as possible. Rocket attempts to disable the clamps holding the Milano together, and Peter tells him to play some sick beats while fighting. And god damn does this soundtrack go so fucking hard! Steve Shipkowski and Johan Budur, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, fucking killed it with their Star-Lord track. It's meant to be a fake band in the universe that Peter takes the Star-Lord name from. But shit man, you didn't have to go this fucking hard. Every track is a banger, and I highly recommend listening to their tracks on Spotify or any other media you have.
Place between hard rocks.
You mean a rock in a hard place?
That is what I said.
Peter decides that they should report the crazies to Cosmo on Nowhere, the deceased head of a Celestial. Rocket and Groot are fed up with Quill and ditch the team and seek their own adventures. I'm sure we won't see them again in 10 minutes. The rest of the team search for Cosmo, and we meet Mantis!
Mantis, what are you...
Do you still have those suicidal urges?
What? No?
She's a bit of an awkward one, and has an episode with Drax, and apparently has seen countless futures that end in countless deaths, but anyway, you're free to explore the city and interact with some slot machines and the Collector's Emporium, a large collection of goodies that the Collector has stored to observe, and a nice homage to the legend himself. Excelsior! Drax and Peter have a surprisingly heartfelt moment about their families, remembering their legacy, and debating if their deaths meant something.
In Catathian religion, we believe that in order to reach Ultaf, one must lead a life filled with purpose, and that failure to do so results in banishment to Sarduth. Our families have been cast out of paradise, Peter Quill, and into nothing.
That's why you come up here.
Yes. To feel close to them. Speak to them.
You know, on Earth, a lot of people think that good people go to heaven and are reunited with their loved ones when they die.
Peter Quill.
Yeah.
I hope your mother found her way to heaven.
This is something you can totally miss, and I'm glad I didn't on my first playthrough. But moving on, Peter makes his way to Cosmo and gets ambushed by bounty hunters. Lady Hellbender sent these two to track him down. During the fight, everyone gets knocked unconscious, and Peter has another dream. This time, it's his final moments with his mother. His birthday present is a gun? Awesome! Meredith tells Peter about his heritage and that his father's enemies are coming. Like, now. He tries to stop them, but it's too much for him, and his mother is killed as he is taken away, powerless to stop it.
Please, no!
He wakes up to some sort of weird dream jail, but hey, look, the gang's back together, and it's Cosmo! They explain what's been happening, so Cosmo suggests they use the Continuum Cortex to travel to Corell's ship, Hala's Hope. Inside is some sort of interdimensional rift, allowing them to see alternate timelines and travel at near instant speeds.
Avengers! Assemble!
What kind of name is Avengers?
They arrive, but the gravity's out, so they fix it without touching the green thing.
Don't touch the green thing!
Not a great time to start yelling, dude!
They explore the ship and look for any signs of Corell, all the while taking out some more crazies. This big-ass cannon thing is siphoning some sort of energy source from the planet. Looks like synthetic energy to me. Some more combat, and we get a big reveal involving Nikki.
How old is the child? Ha! Congratulations, Peter Quill. You will make a terrible father.
They find Corell in Nikki's room, and a lot of weird writing on the wall. Creepy. More and more implications that Nikki is in fact Peter's daughter. And finally, we've reached the bridge. We found out what happened.
Hey, what are you doing?
She went in after we left.
Quick, an intruder! Ah, bright light. Oh hey, it's that old man from when the ship blew up inside the station. He's some sort of prophet and brings us inside his giant-ass ship to introduce us to the Promise. Raker explains that the Matriarch has summoned them and wishes to speak with them. Their Matriarch turns out to be Nikki, either kidnapped or brainwashed, we don't know yet. And whoa, hold up, she has the Infinity Stone! Peter is suddenly taken back to when his mother was killed, as an adult, and he finally has a chance to save her like he should have done last time. He succeeds. He did it. Meredith is alive and Peter is happy. Everyone is happy. Drax, Gamora, Rocket, Groot, everyone is here. Everything's okay. But something's not right. This isn't what happened. This should not have happened.
Mom, what happened to my room?
You were gone so long, I had to move on. I couldn't bear to finish.
Move on. Huh. Move on.
Let go of me. Stop.
How can... Peter, what are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Now, Peter. While it's distracted, we can reach Nikki. She needs our help. Hurry!
Okay, what is going on? Nikki wakes Peter up to celebrate Corell's birthday? Nikki's calling him Dad?
I love you.
Corell finally explains that the Infinity Stone is connecting the three of them in some way, and that Nikki needs to be set free. The rest of them are set free from the trance, and Nikki is sent away. Well, Time to fight our way out.
Are you nuts? That's highly toxic warp drive coolant. We can't just jump in there.
We need to keep moving.
Maybe I wasn't clear. That's a pool of instant death.
Whoa.
What the?
Drax!
Drax, man, everything okay?
Yes.
Turns out, everyone had a dream just like Quill's, and Drax seems the most affected by it so far, but there was something else in their dream.
Shadow.
Gamora seeks an opportunity to attack Riker, and for my playthrough, I let her. Lots of fighting and a lot more explosions, and the team is safe, alive to fight another day.
Teams don't leave people behind.
Tell that to the giant Kratakan army of robots and brainwashed believers we barely got away from.
Gamora returns with Riker's arm. Holy shit, she really is the most dangerous woman in the galaxy. Not long after, they get ambushed by the lost Legion. A sweet dogfight later, and poof, they're gone. Their next choice of action is to contact the World Mind, a hyper-intelligence AI made by the Nova Corps protecting Xandar. When they arrive, the Nova Corps seem to be refusing to get mixed up in this, detaining any poor souls begging for help. A long conversation with the World Mind later, and perhaps the AI has been convinced to help. We'll have to wait and see. They get the Flark out of Dodge right after mentioning someone named Adam Warlock who's able to help, but has since been MIA. And immediately the Sacrosanct shows up and converts everyone there. Time to bounce. The engines get damaged and the crew are pissed at each other. Quill takes a nap to kind of think about what their next move is, and he has another dream. A not very good one at that. Drax wakes us up again. Hey, just like the beginning of the game.
Your illegitimate child was correct, Peter Quill. Hovat and Chimeria will be restored.
Yeah, okay.
We just need to have faith.
Ah, Flark. Drax has given in to the promise. He believes his wife and daughter can be revived, and traps the rest of the team in their quarters. An admittedly boring minigame later, mostly because I was on streaming mode and couldn't hear the actual track, they eventually escape. Quill insists on going after Drax and saving him. Mantis arrives just in time to kick the shit out of Drax and captures him in a trance, and she leads us into the caves to find someone who can cure him. All the while, Mantis essentially teases everyone where and when they died in other timelines. Thanks, Mantis.
This is the one where I fail.
Quill gains more powers from his blasters, and a waterfall is preventing Rocket from continuing. So I guess we gotta clear it. Wuss. Later, after Rocket is fed up with going deeper and deeper into the caves, Quill gives a speech, but he really shouldn't have mentioned everyone's names. After a hard fight, Rocket has no choice but to face his fear of water to save everyone.
Rocket. Check it out. Still not dead.
Finally, we arrive at our destination. We meet the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Warlock. Anyway, after a respectful greeting, Adam Warlock explains that he himself cannot cure Drax. Drax has to cure himself by convincing his family is gone. Finally, I have a chance to talk about this game's theme. Initially, I thought this game was going to be another fun adventure filled with wacky jokes like the movies and end on a happy note, but as I got deeper, I realized that this game has a much deeper meaning. It tackles a sensitive topic, loss and grief.
Despite her meager stature, they both were... They were.
You see, during my very first playthrough, I lost 2 family members, one of which hit me harder than anything in my life. It was the most miserable I've ever felt. I went months staying in my room, in agony, crying myself to sleep, wishing that they'd come back. This promise in Guardians seeks to restore anybody's loved ones and bring them back to the way they were. And just like every person on this planet, we all lost someone special to us, someone we love. And of course, we could do anything to bring them back, but no matter how hard we try, no matter where we go, no matter what we say, no matter what God we pray to, they're never coming back. And it hurts. Drax is cured, free from the promise, and Adam Warlock is back in the fight. On their way out, he explains that a long time ago, he was basically Space Jesus. The more people he sought out to heal, the more a darkness grew inside him, to which he named Magus. The soul stone that was embedded inside of him grew too much to bear. He sought the help of what he thought was his closest friend, Raker. He had since lost it, apparently, and now it's literally in the hands of Nikki. Who more vulnerable than a child who had just lost her mother moments before? And until Nikki accepts that her mother is gone, she will forever be bound to the stone.
What are you... Oh, Flark.
What's going... Oh, Flark.
Oh, Flark. The church is in control of Nowhere, and, as well, the Continuum Cortex. So now it's a race to stop them. Back to Nowhere we go, and Adam Warlock is tagging along too.
Did you just...
You have closed the refrigerator door.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
I thought I was the only one who ever bothered.
I thought I was the only one.
I observed the tree closing at once.
As soon as they arrive, Adam dips. The church made a mess of this place. Not the Space McDonald's! Moving further, Gamora has a breakdown, to say the least. Gamora reveals what was in her promise. Her sister, Nebula, alive and well. But that couldn't be, since Nebula is dead, and the killer has been standing in front of them this entire time.
Whoa. What? Nebula's dead? How? By who? Tell me, so I can find him and shake his Kratak in hand.
By me.
Gamora feels tremendous guilt for murdering her sister. However, the team accepts her. Drax even calls her by her name for the first time. And I should mention that whenever one of the team members has a breakthrough in their character arc, they gain a powerful new ability. Hey look, Raker's here, and haha, he's missing an arm, what a loser. Adam Warlock shows up and they have a heavy brawl. While they settle their differences, the team makes their way to the Continuum Cortex. No, the doggy! Save the doggy! Cosmo is saved, but it's too late. He's giving in to the promise. You have a chance to bring him back, and for my playthrough, it worked. We'll see him later, don't you worry. One of my favorite combat areas later, and we've reached the Continuum Cortex. And it's not looking good. The fulfillment has begun. But hey, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy. We got this, probably. Hey look, we did get this. Nikki was released, but she still won't give. Turns out she is completely conscious of what's happening. All that needs to be done is to accept her mother's death. Goldilocks gets knocked unconscious, and the church escapes. The Guardians quickly follow suit. Ah, shit, they're gone. Thankfully, Rocket shot a tracker on his ass. Literally. The Nova Corps arrived just in time to... Ah, crap. With little options remaining, they brainstorm once again what they should do. Peter suggests that they acquire an army of animals, since they're not exactly vulnerable to the promise. So they contact the only person they know with such an army.
Guardians of the Galaxy!
Nope, she's good.
Peter suggests that they give her an apology gift of some sort. A really big apology gift.
Drax knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes!
Oh, no.
Here it comes!
You know where we're going. To Maklufor! To battle the legendary Fin Fang Foom!
They arrive at Maklufor with little effort. Drax is hyped to battle Fin Fang Foom and is once again telling stories of the great beast. He even sings a traditional song. Peter gains his final power for his blasters as well.
Where'd they go?
What the Flark? It might be his name. Maybe he's trying to communicate.
Please don't.
Wendigo!
Damn, this thing sounds scary. I bet he'll be a tough fight.
This reminds me of our monster hunt in the prohibited area!
I think you mean the quarantine zone!
The Guardians stumble upon Fin Fang Foom's most recent attack. demonstrating his destructive capabilities. Drax plants a ceremonial staff signifying their attempt at the great beast. He insists that the rest scream for Fin Fang Foom, even calls Rocket by his name.
Rocket, it's your turn!
Did he just say my real name?
Rocket!
Fin Fang Foom! We're gonna decomboggle your flunking scut spigots! You hear me?
He hears you!
You scaly, overgrown gordle-splode! You fessed lump of Satarkian shrub meat! You don't scare us!
It feels good, does it not?
Yeah! It actually does!
No! We disrobe!
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Here he is, in the flesh, Fin Fang Foom! After a hard fight, the monster is defeated. Weren't we supposed to take this thing alive? Oh shit. The Guardians apologize to Lady H, Groot revives Foom somehow, and the Guardians manage to convince Lady Hellbender to assist in taking down the church. Now one final effort remains. Upon arrival at the Sacrosanct, Rocket borrows Quill's Walkman as a distraction. Shutting off the power, they glide through effortlessly. Apparently, Fin Fang Foom and Lady H can breathe perfectly fine in outer space, but whatever. It's a big lady riding a fucking dragon in space, who cares? No more hiding, we're breaking in. God damn, they got the drip. Nothing but combat from here on out, and it's a hell of a fun time.
Are you gonna be okay?
That was just so...
Metal?
Yeah.
Here we go again. Oh, Flark, what is happening? Yeah, unfortunately, the most epic level of the game is extremely laggy during combat. I think the developers were rushed during this part and they couldn't optimize it properly. A little disappointing, but still fun nonetheless. Hey, I never said this game was perfect, right? A large amount of forces stand between us. Let's take care of it. Cosmo! And the entirety of Nowhere. Sweet. Deeper into the Sacrosanct we go. As we move forward, we see a massive army in front of us. And look who it is! The World Mine assists in dismantling the majority of the forces. Now they make their way to Adam Warlock. He is held captive by Raker, and the team frees him. Now the ritual has finally begun. The complete, utter consumption of the universe is beginning. Quill has one last chance to set Nikki free.
Dad! Come on, get up! We don't have much time. We need to get everything ready. Mom will be home soon. Come on, get up!
Nikki, what?
The same dream with Nikki celebrating her mom's birthday. This turns out to be Nikki's promise. Corell speaks to Peter one last time and reveals that Nikki is neither her or Peter's child. She's a war orphan. Corell couldn't bear to see such a young child perish, so she took her under her wing. And finally, Peter has a chance to talk to Nikki face to face.
Help her to see the truth.
Hey! What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry, Nick.
No! Stop it! Stop it! Stop ruining this! I hate you! You're not my dad! You're not my...
Yeah, kiddo. I know.
You ruined it. You ruined everything! Mom was gonna come in and... All I want is to see her. I need her back. I don't care if it's not real. I need things to go back to how they were, even if it means making the same stupid cake for all stupid eternity. Just the thought that she might come back is better than admitting that she never will. And then it's all my fault.
Only you can reject the lie, Nick. But it doesn't matter what I think, because it's not my promise. I can't destroy it for you.
What are you doing?
It's an Earth thing. My mom taught me. The idea is that you light something, to remember someone. To pay tribute. I mean, it's not magic or anything. It doesn't bring anyone back, but... you know, it's a gesture. A small thing in the face of a very bad thing. Sometimes that's all we have. Hey. Whatever happens, you're not alone. Okay?
Thank you. But there is something I do have to do alone. For everyone.
Nikki is finally free. Also, what the hell? She transformed like a Power Ranger. As Adam Warlock fights to bring back Magus inside his head, the Guardians have one final showdown with Raker.
No, you will. Good speech. Blast him!
Alright, I'm good.
That's why I'm here. How does the action
Drax, Gamora, Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord! And he is defeated. Magus is safely stored in Adam's 5-head, and the galaxy is saved. What a great game. I never expected a Square Enix Marvel game to be this good. I want to thank you all for watching. I put a lot of effort into this, and I really hope you all enjoyed it. This was one of my favorite games of 2021.
Don't worry about little old me. I feel simply... fabulous.
Come on!
Eternal!
Whoa, whoa!
What is even... Whoa!
Clark?
Well, shit. Magus is a ginormous planet-eating monster now. Their only hope is to shove it back in the Soul Stone where it belongs. And I'll be honest, this last chapter is a bit of a letdown. They kinda just made fun of him and were mocking him constantly, and it got a bit stupid. It's similar to the ending of the Guardians Volume 1 movie, like the dance-off to save the universe, whatever, but this time it went on for a bit too long. A really disappointing ending, I must say. Again, I didn't say this was perfect. Regardless, the team works together to defeat Magus once and for all.
I'm gonna be the one who puts him back in his bottle!
Peter's okay, don't worry. At last, Magus is imprisoned, and the galaxy is safe once again. Adam Warlock takes the Soul Stone and returns to his duty of protecting it. The Guardians decide to take Nikki as their newest member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. and Star-Lord has a moment to himself in the mirror. Uh-oh.
What's happening?
We appear to have lost power.
Sounds like a Nova Core disabler. You guys paid your fine, right?
Oh, fuck!
In the end, I ended up loving Guardians of the Galaxy. It was an extremely fun playthrough, even on my 4th time playing. I loved all the characters, despite their constant chatter, insults, and nonsense. With a tone towards the end of the game that I wasn't ready for, but was very happy with the outcome nonetheless. Let me know what you think of this kind of video going through the entire story start to finish. This kind of video was sort of an experiment for me to know what people think of me going through the entirety of a game in one sitting. I'm not the best at this, and I apologize about my mic quality. This is just a passion project for me right now. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this type of content. I've got some other games that I've always wanted to cover planned out, so stick around for more. And let me know, have I convinced you to try out Guardians of the Galaxy? Would you give in to the promise? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks again for watching, subscribe if you want, now scoff!
You don't say scoff, you just scoff.
Oh, so now I don't express myself proper like? You know what? You're a real piece of... What do you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were about to say...
Can you woof it down?
What? You rough in front of me? I told you a bajillion times, I'm not a rough animal!
What are you talking about?
You...